Oh man. So this is actually later than I thought it would be. The reason for that is because I slept in. Like I woke up and it was 9 something. I fell back asleep and it was 11 something. And then I just like, okay, well, I guess I have to now try this. Yeah, the job yesterday was quite interesting as far as I don't think I've ever worked on, actually, no, I take it back. I have worked on a Sunday before. Um, but it's been like over a year since that experience. So it still feels kind of weird to like on the weekend when everybody's supposed to be supposedly resting to get ready for work to like go in and see people and it seemed pretty normal for the rest of them. I guess they've been doing it for a long time. Mm. But it was I don't know, it was just one of those things where I'm just not used to being out at I guess for work on those types of days. Like just the weekend I'm so used to associating with this is when people rest that to go and work during it felt not normal, for lack of a better term. Like I just felt as if something was off. It's like I'm really working on a Sunday, and like I'm not even just up here for a few hours. Like no, you're here for a full shift. So this basically means that one of the weekdays is going to end up being your weekend. It's funny because they always talk about like these breaks you're supposed to take, and my one of the managers actually forgot to send me the break. Like I had to remind them, like, hey, it was like 30 something minutes past after they said they would tell me. And I don't fault these people for that kind of stuff because when places get really busy, your mind starts to kind of wonder. You're probably not able to just focus on every single backdrop thing that you would have liked. So it didn't bother me that much. Left to blow my nose. I was that's actually something else I was going to get into. About 2 days ago during the night, I started feeling kind of sick. The one where you're sort of, what's the way of putting it? You're where you start to sneeze repeatedly, and the backdrop of it is that on Saturday I started sneezing repeatedly. Then, as the night progressed, I started to kind of like feel like a soreness, and it's always horrible to have to try to go to sleep when you have a cold, especially for me because I'm so used to laying on my stomach, and that's the position that messes with your ability to breathe, from what I've been told. The most of any of them because you're like laying on top of the that area. So I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to wear a mask when I go in there, and that's gonna fog up my glasses." And it's just the whole thing. I started to just have a sense of dread about. But then, as I was driving over to the job, I noticed that wasn't the case. Like I actually felt completely fine when I went in there. I wasn't sneezing or coughing or any of that, and it was weird because like so. Did I really just have like a one night cold? And then the crazy part is I started to feel traces of it last night again. from those two consecutive. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Like, I don't feel necessarily sick. I feel like something is off as far as like just the way that what's the way of putting it, the way that I'm kind of reacting to it internally. But I don't. If you were asking, oh, do you think you're gonna have to lay in? But no, it's just. I guess it's just one of those things. No, I always feel a sense of just of wonder in terms of how good do you really feel? Are you actually physically capable? Because you can be sunk by pretty much anything. Like, some of these illnesses just come out of nowhere. You'll pull on all these different things, and whether it's coats or take some medicine, and you're still just feel like you're like there's something wrong. No, the last two edited videos I want to do for this year are the LBJ documentary part 4, which script for that is entirely finished. I've recorded. I just have to edit it. I haven't really been able to do much editing this week because of the stuff with the job. Um, and part 1 of the FDR one, which that's going to be done a little bit differently in terms of I'm probably only going to do parts of it every other month. Hold on. Oh, people always interrupt everything. They always find a way to call you and ask about 50 different things. So you can't interrupt me now. I'm trying to do a stream. Bad enough I wasn't able to do this on Saturday because all that stuff that just popped off. I really thought I was going over there for just like a little routine, probably at worst 2-hour thing. Nope, that went on and on and on and on. Took forever. Oh man. No, the romance fan fiction video was fun to put together because that's how I feel about a lot of these commentators, like just these people that give their opinion on this stuff. They don't know what they're talking about. Um, and for some reason they're too afraid or too unwilling to just ask direct questions, so they end up having to make up stuff. Which is why I said there's really no point in having conversations with people about this stuff that aren't someone you know personally or another, individual you've interacted with multiple times, because if they take a position that is not yours, which is the either, the belief that you did something wrong or that eventually Magic Woman will appear, but whatever, it's like, yeah, they've convinced themselves of something that there is no evidence for, and it's not your place to have to try and like explain and articulate to these people why their belief is wrong. Somebody made a video called Haley Landslide. I'd sooner believe in Santa. No one is winning a landslide in the presidential election ever again. That is one of the funniest jokes I've seen in a long time. But as I was saying, I really would just avoid trying to talk to these people. I think it's a mistake. I think I'm much better off if I just let them write their little weird stuff, keep it moving. Um, and I'll admit it's hard to resist the temptation to argue with people about certain things. Like, I was at work and one of the managers, because my stuff is usually in the later part of the day, like 5 to 1, or usually past 1 o'clock. They always have you just trying to do everything to close out. They never can just let you leave at the time where you're supposed to leave. It's always like a whole half hour or extra hour. But the crazy part to me was that you had this guy that this manager asked him, and she's young. She's probably in her 20s, I'd say. Um, do you have a girlfriend? And he said no, and then she asked him why, and then he was like explaining, "Oh, he just get tired of this, that, and the other." He was certainly much more not as direct as I probably would be. He kind of just listed off different things. And as I just kind of was sitting there listening to this because I was doing something close, I was like, "Oh, please! I hope she doesn't ask me. I really hope, because it'll be hard to resist, going in on the just the different things that have happened and kind of you know giving a recap. Like, don't get me started effectively. Uh, I don't know. I'm always marveling at how in for a lot of these places they'll have these handbooks about you have to be professional and you need to be courteous and this, that, and the other. But when you actually work there, the people are just so comfortable with each other that they'll ask that type of stuff. Because I don't think I could ever go up to a coworker and be like, "Hey, so are you dating anyone?" It would make me feel kind of weird to ask something that I think is personal. Like, it's not super personal to where it's like, "Oh man, this really creeped me out." But I guess I'll put it like this. I had a manager ask me if I had a girlfriend last year, right? And then she assumed that I was single by choice. And of course, I didn't try to argue with her because I don't care to really get into this stuff. But I was amused by how, again, they can ask things like that and no one thinks it's weird. Like, why do you need to know if I'm dating someone? What I don't know. I guess if you wanted to spin it in a positive way, you could say, "Oh, well, the person is trying to be friendly, trying to get to know you." And I guess with me, when you've been through jobs where they'll get rid of you after a month, after a few months, not even a few months, maybe like within the span of 2 months, usually it makes it to where you can't take it seriously. You can't like the idea that you're going to be here for any continuous period of time and thus be a regular fixed recurring thing that people see and talk to and speak with and get to know. I just can't buy into it because look at how many times that has not happened. Look at how many times you've been somewhere, thought you were going to stay there for longer than you ended up staying, and then just nothing materialized. They wanted you gone after a few weeks, after a few months. Um, I mean, that's what they do. They always are so quick to throw people away. And that's why I said, why bother even attempting to form any type of relationships, working relationships, but still, why bother even trying to do that if people are just going to discard of you so easily? Telling you, man, I don't understand the point of it. Romantic relationships are they're just lacking in any type of like purpose, you know. They're not something I would ever entertain the thought of seriously attempting again because I do think that they've been used as a tool for people to try and make somebody feel bad. Like I got tired of the same old, you speak to some woman, you tell her you like her, she says she doesn't like you, and then you mention it or someone finds out about it and they blame you for why she doesn't like you. I got tired of it. It really became redundant. Especially when I see what some of these women, happen to look like. I mean, there's two of them up there that are, I would say, um, obese, and it's not even like those persons with little, like I mean, like actually, very, very, very wide. Let's put it that way. And both of them have mentioned. One of them is married. The other one apparently has a boyfriend, and I'm just like, nobody on this planet should be able to tell me that I need to go to the gym to get a date, but you have women that are that just it's a joke. I'm getting really tired of getting called by these people over and over again. It's very annoying. Like this person just called me not even 10 minutes ago and they're calling again. So I didn't answer it. That stuff gets really annoying when you're trying to do something and you just keep getting interrupted and like the person knows what that you're trying to do something but they keep interrupting you. It's just irritating. Like get a clue. I don't know. I think that people are they're very quick to just make stuff up, and that was the point of that video. I wanted to show that for as long as I can remember. Oh, 30% off. You've had these people who kind of just come out of nowhere and they're like, I think you did this, you are probably this way. It's like, okay, well if that's true, why are we even bothering to, like, why are we pretending to even have the premise of a conversation? If you're going to just invent what I did, then why even bother attempting to talk to you about this? What's the point? I was talking to my friend and he said that when he goes to work it feels like a pointless mission. I said, isn't it sad that like, because I've always discussed this before, but every job there's something you hate, but isn't it really sad when you feel as if the work you do doesn't mean anything? Like, even if it's stuff that you're putting your back into or working hard, etc., whether you're making food or picking up boxes or washing dishes. It's like, why is it that you'll do this stuff for hours on end and you just won't feel anything? You won't feel as if you're actually accomplishing something, like you're actually doing something that matters in the slightest. Like, yeah, you get paid for this, that's cool, but I mean, do you really want to spend a third of your day, 30 or 40 hours a week just doing something that you don't really care to do whatsoever? You don't like, if you don't really see any values doing at all. I don't know, it's just it's really sad when I think about it. Just the idea that people are so jaded, but also so desperate that they'll work and do things that they really couldn't care less about doing. And then the stuff that, like, they're the whole time they're there, they're just like, okay, I have this many hours until this happens, this many hours until this, so I can get off, this many hours until, like, you just, like, you don't have any excitement at all about doing that stuff because it's lame. It's just it's whatever. Like, it doesn't make you feel anything. You're just totally at a loss of being impacted by this in a positive way. I think that's really sad. I even asked him, I said, "How long do you think you're gonna work that job?" He said 3 years at most. I said, me over here, I think they'll get rid of me, so it won't even come close to that. But I couldn't see myself working at a restaurant for 5 years or 10 years or any other stuff. It's all just to pass the time, really. That's what I said. I'm just jaded with a lot of this stuff. Fastest delivery is tomorrow. I believe that. Seems like every time you get some off one of these sites, it always takes way longer than it said it would. It's really annoying. I'm not even trying to be funny. It seems like every time something is ordered online and comes in, it takes forever. Like, just for some reason. I don't know why. Mm. That was funny when I went on there and I saw that Liz Cheney's book was out of stock. I was like, I've never seen a book be out of stock before, like a new book. Never once. I like. There's no way that thing sold that many copies. That's crazy. I'm sitting here with amazement at that idea, like that they actually don't have it anymore. That's crazy to me. Oh no, I just this was really interesting. Mm. Also, it was really funny to see the lack of success for Green's book and how everybody was talking about, you guys are for banning books. Why do you think the one you wrote would sell well? What's even funnier because we're in an era where if a book sells like was 100,000 copies, that's like a success, you know, because people just barely ever read. No, her novel is not doing too good. I mean, I don't even really care that much for the reviews as far as they don't influence if I because I already know it's probably some lies in there anyway, but I just think it's funny that most of the time when these people put out something, there's other people like, you know, fans of theirs who are like, "Oh, this was good. This was great. They wrote something terrific." It's like, but I don't see that with her. I see a bunch of stuff that just won't move. Oh man. I'm telling you, it's crazy to me. People just do not have any they have no shame. And I've always been fascinated by that, the idea that people who don't read, right? What will be like, "Oh yeah, here's my book I just wrote. How well do you think this thing is going to go?" But I'm really interested in that. Like this thing really didn't sell, or rather, this thing sold so well that no one will ever be able to get it. Apparently, out of stock on day one. And it's like, yeah, I could go to a physical bookstore, but am I really going to do that? Because I tried that last about 2 or 3 weeks ago for this other book, and I couldn't find it, and I was really irritated. And that's why I said like, I see why bookstores aren't doing that well because why go out looking for a book in real life when you know you can get it online no matter what, someone's gonna have it, and it all just feels so pointless to me. Like, why go through all the effort of trying to find this thing if I know I can just get it on the computer, like that? Like, yeah, I'll have to wait some days for it to get here, but the point is, I know I can get it off of there. Whereas if I go to a store, they might not have it, or they just ran out, or some other thing might happen. No, these bookstores, man. Good luck ever being able to find anything. I'm telling you. Yeah, it does not. It does not pay well to be a reader. I can tell you that. If you want a book, you oftentimes have to go online or go to like 50 different stores. It's It's sad. I mean, what it is the parts that should be easier are hard, and the parts that are hard are just things that they've decided to up the difficulty of. Oh man, I'm telling you. These next couple of weeks are going to be really interesting just from how we had this crazy debate. They all think they have a chance for some reason, but they don't. Really, the only one I think who could have something of an argument to be made probably would be Haley, but I don't see her making up that 20-point gap. I think even if the other three were to get out, which I don't think they'll do before Iowa, like any of them, I think these five will make it to at least the first primary because they're all holding out the hope. Um, you'll probably see some kind of 20-point lead that Trump will have over Haley, if not even bigger than that. And then you should be like, oh, well, let's try this again in New Hampshire. And then he'll win there too. And then she'll be like, oh, let's try this again in South Carolina. And then he'll win there as well. So she is, she's really not doing herself any favors. Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, these people just they really have nothing to do. Like I realize that they have like if because I said before, if she loses this, that's kind of it for her career. Like maybe she'll be on Fox as some kind of guest commentator, somebody that they'll probably pay a few coins to give their supposed analysis, right? Where they're like, "Oh, I think this will happen in this election," but after after this, I just don't see where she can go from a you know office holding standpoint. I mean, Graham is certainly not letting go of his Senate seat anytime soon. That man will stay on that seat until he's probably like 80 something, and that's already another 20 years. Scott, I I remember him saying he would only have 2 terms, but now that he's gotten, knocked out of this race, he probably wants to stay a senator to remain relevant in some capacity, probably try again. Um, yeah, I really don't see where she has to go after this, except maybe running again. But it's like good luck staying relevant as a former politician for 4 years. At least DeSantis will still be governor when he's done with this waste of everyone's time. He has that going for him. Oh, this stupid thing. But the rest of them really are at the end of their rope. Like I already know Christie's going to go back on TV. I tried to stop him, but we already know that's going to happen. We already know. He's like, I gave it my all. I think he'll probably. I could actually see a lot of them writing books about these campaigns, probably in the years following this. That makes a lot of sense. I just find it like really hilarious. We're even in this whole thing. Like a whole year has gone by of these basically these people just running for second place. And month after month, everybody kept saying, "Oh, this could be the thing that," but it never came. It was just they go around, they fly to these different states, usually the same two, Iowa and New Hampshire. They give some stupid speeches, uh, about their little platform, whatever. But nothing changed. Nothing advanced for them. They all sat in, like even someone like Ramaswamy, right? Over the summer, he got this big polling boost. That's over. Like now he's in fourth, fifth place. He's barely above Christie, who's actually been polled to be disliked by most Republican voters. So it's like, even if they apparently like you, they're still not going to go with you. But I just don't see what purpose there is to running for this long and to be polling in second and third and fourth and fifth place month after month. I don't know. It seems fruitless to me. And I know advisors like to fuel the egos of the people that they're working for, right? I believe you can do it because they're trying to make some money off of these people's egos. But I would really just like step back and go, okay, how often do I actually see progress with this campaign? Are more people donating to me? Or more people signing up to volunteer? If that's not the case, then I think they should get out. Just it's weird. All these campaigns are just a waste of time and money. That's why when I did my video about Christy Noem and her talking about, why run if you can't win. I said that a lot of times people run for president so that they can get their name out there, right? Boost your profile. Um, they can get some lucrative book deal or TV deals, basically just capitalize off of this campaign that they knew wasn't probably going to go anywhere from when it started. Because I said that about Ramaswamy. I was like, dude, you know that you can't praise the person you're running against and expect to overtake them in polls. Like that just doesn't work. You have to criticize them. That's why I said his campaign really was just more of a publicity stunt than anything else. I know at one point he was talking about running for the Senate in Ohio. He might still do that at some later point. He's young, could have several terms if he tried. But I really think he's another one that knew, yeah, I have no choice. I have no chance. Like Christie knew that from when he started, but I think to a lesser degree, Ramaswamy knew that as well. Maybe not as much. Because like I said, there's some ego involved with this stuff. Like when you're a billionaire, oftentimes you have a lot of confidence because, hey, look, I made all this money. I must be successful. Look at all the coins I'm swimming in. But I don't know. It just seems like something that he would be privy to. Like, yeah, I'm probably not going to overtake the guy that this whole party has morphed into the cult of. But at least I can get some more publicity for myself. That's another thing. You ever notice how all of these politicians, they've all written books? That's interesting. Like every single one of them, damn near, has written a book, and it's like that's not a coincidence. They're doing that to make money. Like the easiest way for a politician to enrich themselves from office, besides taking paid speeches, is writing a book. Oh, second time I had to do that. Hopefully there won't be a third. But I was saying all of them write books because it's an easy way to make some additional money off of your campaign. Like they run for president, and then when that doesn't work out, they write a book. Or before they run for president, they write a book. That's been the thing they've all done for the last several years, and I'm really getting sick of it. Because really, most of the campaign books are not that good. Like they're like just from an objective standpoint, the ones I've read, terrible. Like I said, DeSantis's new one, Courage to Be, it was awful. One of the worst political biographies I've ever had the misfortune of checking. And it's not even like about ideology. He just has no coherent writing style that actually makes me feel like, yeah, this is what he thinks. This was written by him. Like I refuse to believe that wasn't his staffers all crammed up in some office together typing away, Faucian and all the rest of that stuff. I like, no, there's no way that he wrote this. God. I'm not even like I'm nowhere near being a Kissinger fan, but I actually would like to read his memoir. I think it probably would be good. I know that Rice's memoir was very good. In terms of their writing style and their ability to express themselves and actually make you think, yeah, this is what this person typed. This is something that sounds like how they would speak. Uh I even said Trump is really stupid for not just hiring a ghostwriter and basically sitting at a desk while somebody else types out his thoughts. Like he's losing a lot of money by not writing a memoir because I have no doubt in my mind it would sell like hotcakes. Really stupid for that one. Hmm. Hmm. No, he should write one. His wife should write one. They should just again get the ghostwriters and go from there. Speaking of his wife, she has really disappeared, man. This lady has vanished. Like you can't find anything about her at all. She went to Rosalind Carter's funeral and like that was it. She has totally vanished. It's not even funny. Like I'm astonished that just people disappear like this. They completely, you know, that you like you can have someone who goes from being one of the most covered people in the world as far as like oh everywhere they go people take pictures of them, they're trying to photograph them, they're trying to just do all this stuff to get uh some kind of thing of them, right? And now you don't see anything about this lady. Like I think she's only made one public appearance in the last like 2 years, 3 years. Like I where in the world does she I guess it makes some sense when your husband is as despised as hers, you probably don't want to, put yourself out there anymore. You know, I said before, I really think they did a number on her. Like the aggressiveness towards this woman was crazy, and it all stemmed from who she was married to for the most part. Like that's just what they do, unfortunately. You were a disgrace to the role of. Not really. I mean, sorry you feel that way. Yeah, they're always throwing out some insults. Oh man, I'm just trying to think what else is going to take place before the new year starts. Any other video I want to do? I don't think so. Mm. Mm. I mean, I guess I could mention the MCU again, maybe. I'm trying to think if there's been any more updates since I last spoke about it. Oh yeah, now I'm about 90% sure they're gonna get rid of Kang's actor because of that stuff with that woman. Which is really, like I usually don't like to bring race into things, but it was nice to see a black actor who it appeared, because he talked about like his dad wasn't really there for him in his interviews, it, who appeared to be, through a measure of his own talents, getting lead roles in blockbuster films. To have Creed 3 and Ant-Man 3 come out as back to back like they did, really was like, oh man, he's going to be one of the top guys in Hollywood possibly. And within a matter of months, it's all been just destroyed, seemingly. And if these allegations are true, he has no one to blame but himself. But it really saddens me to see successful African Americans, like people who have some kind of like talent, right? Some that they did where that they probably studied, they worked hard, etc. And it looks like they're finally getting to that career success they've probably dreamed of for years, they've probably fantasized about, and it all gets snatched away in a quick blink of an eye. I find that really sad. But I guess it is what it is. I wish I had something more witty to say, but I'm at a loss for words when you're talking about people that basically destroy themselves. Like I don't even know what else to say to the fact that this happened. It's really unfortunate that we get so few people that actually like make it. Like a lot of people dream about being content creators, actors, singers, rappers, but they don't make it. They don't succeed. And there's you could sit there and diagnose a million reasons why that is, but my point I'm making is it's very sad one of the few people who looks like they're actually making it are being successful in some way that is significant, just gets cut down over their personal foibles. Because make no mistake about it, I'm mostly into history. I've discussed that before, but I'd have no problem doing some retrospectives on all the different actors, rappers who, it looked like things were going good and they either destroyed themselves or messed up their own career. I mean, you saw this last year with Will Smith. Here's a man who's been acting for over 20 years, 30 years. And again, one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood gets angry over a joke that, I mean, a comedian's going to make a joke and, it's like obvious, but whatever. We can debate the merits of the joke, but you go up, you assault this person, and then you find yourself both banned from even attending those events for a decade, and a bunch of your roles get put on hold because they don't know what's going to happen. Are you going to get charged with something? Are other people going to boycott the stuff you're involved with? It was so unnecessary to do that, and it's another one of those like self-inflicted wounds. But look, I don't practice self-hatred. I don't take joy in seeing black people, especially successful ones at that, destroy themselves. That's why when we were talking about the dingbat with the baby, I said I despise that person so much for stuff they did before they had this kid, but them having a kid ruined their life even more. We had conversations about you have this not think about the baby, this other woman who's like pushing 50 and talks about how she's so poor and she can't afford this. And I said, honestly, in 20 years, if I was living paycheck to paycheck and I was afraid of, oh, I might not be able to pay this month, and I was still like just flipping back and forth between romantic partners that I'm never going to get married to, never going to make any serious commitment to, I probably would end my life. And it's not even because, like, for example, now I accept the fact things are not as easy as you would prefer, but there's always the hope that all through the course of either some discipline on your part and some consistency on your part as far as working for places, you can actually succeed or at least come very close to not having to worry about expenses, like in a serious manner of like, how am I going to get $10 to, feed myself? Like I don't want that life for me. And that's why I said I look at these people and they're like warnings. Don't have kids with some partner that you're not committed to, because guess what? You might end up being saddled with having to pay everything for the kid while the partner gets to sit at their house and do nothing. To where even if you put them on child support, they still don't do anything. They still barely do anything. I'm serious. If I had these people's lives in 20 or 30 years, I probably would end my life. I'm not trying to be funny, comedic. I don't see the point in living that way. Like, and remember, you're not. This isn't someone that just turned 18, or these are grown adults. In some cases, in their 40s, in some cases, in their 50s, and like you're approaching at best 3 more decades on this earth, and you're still like trying to come up and work. Like I don't want that for myself. I don't. Like we were talking about all these dating websites. Man, you have people spending hundreds of dollars to meet someone. You got a lady talking about how she foregoes groceries to pay for these stupid sites. Like that's an idiot. You should never pay for anything past utilities if you can't afford the utilities. Like, what the hell was she expecting? Oh, you're gonna pay for these dating websites, and then this magic man is gonna appear and sweep you off your feet, and everything's gonna be so wonderful. No, no, that's not what's going to happen. That's not what will happen. But even if you wanted to just believe in that fantasy, what rational human being would? Yeah, it was in my video. Go watch it. I could use the views in case you haven't noticed. But what rational human being would say, yeah, forget paying for something to eat. I'm gonna go and make sure I can afford these dating sites. You had another site. I don't even remember its name. They were talking about charging people 2,000 499 a month. It's like you have to be a complete idiot. Well, that's why I've never consented or agreed to the premise of paying for dating sites or for any other meetup online thing, because whenever you stake your money into something that's not guaranteed, you're basically playing the lottery. And remember, people know when they play the lottery, they're probably not going to win. You know, they hold out hope, but still, it's like when you're doing that with these dating sites, not only are you not guaranteed to win, but you could end up with something even more bad than the situation you're in. Like, you could go on that site and meet some woman who you agree to meet her in person, and in her picture, she looks nothing like her picture. Or she tells you she's a lawyer, and then she's living in a one-bedroom shack. So I said, man, people just they blow my mind with how little they actually think through things. It's really sad. They absolutely forego basic needs for this stuff. They're pathetic like that. But this is why I said there's such a gap between myself and these other people. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm this enlightened individual, but just you could never get me excited enough at the prospect of the supposed magic woman that would show up from being on these sites where I say, yeah, I'm going to forego eating or uh some other important thing I can't live without so I can possibly end up with a partner. You just wouldn't see me do that. It's not a rational thing to do. It's stupid, really. I will never ever forego my basic survival needs for the promise of triangle. And they rattled off these statistics. Oh, when you go to a dating site that you pay for, you have a higher chance of meeting someone. I'm like, yeah, but at what cost? Akatsuki Merchant, you saw Infinity War. Remember when Thanos snaps and he sees little girl Gamora, and she's like, "Did you do it?" And he's like, "Yes." She goes, what did it cost?" He goes, "Everything." That's literally what you're doing to yourself when you have to pay $2,000 to sell on a website. Or excuse me, 2,500, 2,499, whatever the amount was. Halfway to 3,000. You realize that site wanted more than rent. Like that, the amount of money to sell on that site every month is the equivalent of rent for like over here. Like that's nuts. That's really crazy that you would even have to spend that much to go on a stupid website. this site sent me a gift, 20% off. Yeah, I'm not taking that. Sorry. So yeah, Akatsuki merchant, if you want to go on a date, you need to fork over the dough. Not even for the date, but just like the idea of meeting someone that you could that will like you back. Good luck. So people have really lost their minds to get swept up in that trash. Like to actually believe, oh yeah, I'll just ask out a woman, and then when she doesn't like me back, I'll go right back to not having to care about you know her actually wanting to be with me. Yeah, I'll sign up for this site and pay in some cases thousands of dollars a month just to sell in here and see profiles. And that's why I said all this romance stuff is just a grift. Like the guys that do the little videos of how to pick up chicks and all the rest of that trash. They know that their stuff probably isn't going to work. The ones that do all the little dating advice, right? The coaches, they know their stuff isn't going to work. The dating sites know that most people that go on there are probably most of the guys, especially, are probably not going to even meet anyone that likes them back in any real way. It's probably just more money stuff. It's just a bunch of gold diggers laying around. So it's really sad that people they benefit financially off of someone else's misery. So I said this stuff is just people you know, it's a grift. They're all looking for a paycheck. Crazy part about the dating sites is that whether people sign up for free or not, they're still making money off of you with all these ads. But they're greedy, so they're like, okay, we'll charge you for more features. I was like, tell me what price I have to pay for someone to actually like me back. I'd love to know. That one seems to be too steep. That's why I said you could pay all this stuff and then still end up with nothing. So what's the point? Misery merchants. They remind me of that one. I'm trying to remember what the name was. They remind me of. Oh, I know a character they remind me of now. Feeding off misery, like literally feeding off misery to get to like make themselves you look younger. Like that's what who they remind me of. I just find the whole thing very sad because, like I said, I understand people wanting to meet someone, wanting to have a partner. I mean, even as stupid as that woman was, when she was like, "He's my boyfriend, and I'm gonna choose him. I'm sorry." I at least with that, I said, "Okay, whatever." She's convinced herself she has to be with this man. Uh, but I'm telling you, spending all this money just to possibly go like meet someone, I just think is insane. Like I really do believe there's something wrong with that, even as a premise. Like the idea that you have to sign up for multiple websites just to possibly find someone to go on a date with, I think is absolutely bonkers. It's really crazy. But people they're doing it. I can't wait to meet my partner after spending so much damn money that it's leaves me entirely bankrupt. How did we go from you go out in real life and you see some woman you like, you ask her for a number, she says no, whatever. How do we go from that to, oh, you want to meet somebody? Time to sign up for apps. It's crazy, man. I remember all this for the hope of meeting somebody. Not the guarantee, not the absolute certainty that you're going. No, for the hope. Maybe this person will like you. I think it's crazy. Oh, man. So much money just to talk to women. People really do act like you're supposed to just magically have access to thousands of dollars. I understand that money has to come from somewhere. Oh, absolutely. And like a lot of people, I mean, dude, this is one of the reasons why the blockbusters were failing. They put out 6, 7, 8 in the span of like 5 weeks blockbusters, and they expect in the overpriced market of today for someone to be able to go and watch all this stuff. Like 20 something dollars usually for two people to go see a movie now, right? Let's say I went to go see Blue Beetle. Okay, $20. Creed 3, $40. Flash, $60. What's the other one? Ant-Man 3, $80. What's another? I mean, and remember, if you go with like a whole family, that's like 30 or $40 for one movie, not even counting the food. And that's one of the reasons why theaters are not doing as great because people just don't they're very selective about what films they go to see now. And I don't blame them. I only went to see 2 movies in theaters this whole year because it just costs too much. And remember, this is just for the tickets. So when that lady looked at me and said that'll be 625 for that icy, I felt like throwing that thing on the floor. I was like, how do you charge somebody that damn much for a drink? Let me tell you something. At the place I work, they give a half off discount on all food. So when I order a burger or like a burger and fries, right? Normally it'd be $10. For me as an employee, it's $5, which is a hell of a better deal than paying $6 for a drink. The fact that people act like this shows me how incredibly privileged they are. Yeah, because a normal person, make no mistake, they don't have the money to sit here and spend on all these stupid sites. They just don't. I'm serious. Like there's no reason for regular people to do this, to go to these extreme lengths just to meet somebody. And the fact that that we even have like an online sub society of dating sites and pimping out people's hopes and wishes of finding a partner for your own financial benefit really shows you just how warped everything is. It just costs too damn much money, man. That's all there is to it. It costs too much money. Nobody has the time to sit because when you work, you can't just sit at home all day long typing on the computer. Hi, random woman 700. What's up? Hi, random woman 701. What's going on? People are working to keep lights on. They're working They're saving so they can even I mean, dude, like, no one can afford this stuff. They can't. They're nuts, man. They are absolutely insane. Dude, I'm just, like, picturing the reality where I have $1,000,000. I'm not even playing. I still couldn't see myself paying for a day. Like, even if it didn't cost me that much, comparatively speaking to other people, I still be like, "No, I'm good. No, thank you." I'd sooner pay for a surrogate to have my kid than a dating site at that point. At least then you get full control of the child. You get full custody, hire some nannies when you're at work. Stuff just costs way too much, man. They want $1,000,000 to even like, you have to have that to even be able to pay for this stuff. It's way too expensive. 2,000 for a dating site. I remember some human being or some set of human beings thought that price was, like, something that was affordable. They thought that was a good amount. That's crazy. Mm. I hope I don't see you on any of those sites, Akatsuki Merchant. I'd hate to see a profile that reads, "Hey, I'm selling bananas." I don't want to see you on there. I don't think you should be spending any money just to meet a woman, just to talk to a woman. Like, I think that's insane. And again, society has normalized this conduct. When you tell men that there's something wrong with them, and yeah, they're going to feel very cornered, like they have nowhere to go besides the internet. Um, but it's also like the byproduct of having a bunch of chicks that even if we know this for a fact, even if they think a man is attractive, quote unquote, they still won't ask him out. They still won't approach him. They still won't say anything to him unless they're spoken to. So because of the passiveness of women in real life, it's like part of the factors that turns a man into having to kind of like go online and show himself and overexert himself for the sake of meeting somebody. Probably a bunch of spoiled subordinates who've never worked a day in their lives. I mean, dude, like the crazy part to me is the amount of money they're asking for. I could work I'd have to work every single day of an entire month. So Saturday and Sunday on top of Monday through Friday to be able to afford that site. And that's still like not even counting other expenses I'd still have to deal with, like, gas and food. I mean, it's nuts. It is insane. Oh my god. God, now I'm starting to be reminded of how with that one woman from I'm not gonna say what state she was in, but it was like there was a woman that I had offered to move in with her and then we would pay her rent together and then she would actually be able to, save her stuff. And she had said that I was more attractive than her previous fiance. And I'm like, that just shows you there's something wrong with chicks. Like that deal would have been entirely in her benefit and she turned it down. Man, they are idiots, I tell you. I'm serious. Sometimes I really think women just say things like they don't even like they know they don't mean it. They know they don't actually believe anything at all about, have no values, not just they just say stuff. And I do think some of them like screwing themselves over. I do believe that. When you go around having kids by multiple men that you already knew probably weren't great to begin with, it's like, what did you expect? Damn, she couldn't even say anything nice about you as a person. No, that one said that I was I have to remember the exact line because it's been years, but she said I was funnier, more handsome, and some other thing than her ex fiance. Basically, like this whole full compliment, which made her sound even crazier when you've got this guy who says, "Yeah, if you let me move in with you, you can then save your stuff because two people will split it together." That's why I was saying that I think she's nuts for that. No, they destroy everything they touch. That's why I said I just stay away from them. She's another one where there was like a revolving door where after a few days, few weeks, she'll just stop talking to you just for the sake of it. And I just got tired of it. That's why I said normally if I cut off some woman, I don't ever go back to her. It's very rare. That's why the thing with the one from this what do you call it from that video was so meant as much as it did because it's like I barely even talk to women as supposed friends, especially this year. So to have one that was sitting up, having these hours long calls and all of a sudden they just start ducking you. It disgusted me. It was like, why am I even why do I even try, And it's like I look at all the stuff you had to do to get this person to respond. You had to make a video about them. Then that only got them to write something about you in their comment section, which you couldn't respond to because they blocked you. So then you had to mention what they wrote in a video, which then caused them to finally respond directly to you and then try to like talk to you on some other site where they revealed the real reason they stopped speaking is because of their boyfriend, only to then go back to not speaking to you after that. It is meaningless. That's why I said don't believe these women. Don't trust them. When they tell you, "Oh, Akatsuki merchant, you're so much fun to talk to, and I feel like we have a connection." The same person will have a big knife ready to stick it in your back before you can even turn around. Because that's what they do. They sit there and they gas you up. But as far as do they mean it? You see it in their actions. They don't. They're liars. I asked this one broad. I said, so if you can get turned down by a woman who says that she thinks you're attractive, or even a woman that asked you on a date, which is extremely rare. So are we supposed to just never trust anything a woman says ever again? Just every time they speak, just know it's lies. Like, what is the solution here? Because literally, they've ran past the whole gambit of things. They've said all types of stuff that sounded nice, but then when they actually have to put their actions where their mouth is, they don't do anything. I never thought I'd live to see the day where you get asked out by a woman, and then after she asks you out, you would think, okay, it's gonna be a date. It'll be nice. Live in the same state. We can meet each other. Great. Oh, can you meet my parents and can we get to know each other? And I was like, what is this? I was really grossed out because just how excited I was, at the prospect of like, oh my, the nightmare might actually finally be over. Nope. Because if her admiration of you was genuine, she'd be able to describe something about you that is unique to you. It's not even just that. It's like if I met some woman that I said was very attractive, that I enjoyed speaking to, and that I said I wanted to be with, and they said, "Oh yeah, if you let me move in with you, we can pay your stuff together and you'll save your money." I would have jumped like a rabbit. I would say, "Yeah, let's do it. Fly over here." I'm telling you, man, they act like that's why I said they're just liars. They're just that's all they know how to do is just lie. So now you know whenever a woman tells you something, expect the opposite. It's just so sad, man. Like it's all lies. Every last bit of it. Um, but look, I got some stuff to do, and I'm probably gonna end up just trying to get a little bit more rest for today because I've got 3 days back to back of driving over to another city. So I will stream again. I'm almost certain on Saturday. I'm 90% sure I'll be able to accommodate that. Uh, but I hope you enjoyed Akatsuki Merchant and have a good rest of your day.